Hello everyone, I'm Steve, Mark's doing laundry, and this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Welcome or welcome back. It is the weekend, so we know what that means. This is butterscotch coffee made creamer, 1860 something coffee, and a little bit of almond milk. It's going down smooth today too. Iced. I threw an ice cube in there. That's how iced it is. So today I thought we would revisit our fair lady, Chantal. Chantal Marie Foodie Beauty Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantal. Now, because she is back from her, we'll call it a hiatus, I guess. She was gone for about 3 weeks, three, four, somewhere in that range. To the point where last week we just had a discussion because we had no videos. Well, she has graced us with a few to talk about. So, we have some catching up with her because she hasn't been around a while. So where we left off, she was doing a 365-day weight loss challenge. And she unfortunately only made it to day 2 and then completely disappeared. So, as she was going along with the new journey, she was playing around with, in the thumbnail, putting my 400-pound life. That was something, it's close to my 600-pound life, but that she had used before. So that wasn't like anything novel. I don't think it caught in the way that she maybe hoped it would, but it hadn't in previous attempts either. After that video, crickets, nothing. There was a couple community posts that she had put up. One about moving into a hotel for a period because there was roaches and she needed fumigation. She lives in an apartment building, it happens. You know, you don't have to be filthy to get them. Doesn't help if you are. I don't know that they are or aren't. And being afraid to come back because of scrutiny. And then she did a little bit of fishing for content ideas in that last community post. So, first video is I'm back. Hotel room tour and health updates. I have her up here because I just can't get enough. So in the beginning, she's still cleaning before fumigation, which is very involved, much more than I had thought, because we've never had our place fumigated because we never had that much of an issue with bugs. But apparently it's quite involved. She gives the hotel room tour. Her cats are scared because they're in a new place. So it was her, BB, and the cats, and they have to stay out for like a couple days just while they get the place tip-top and no more roaches, I suppose. One of her cats is missing. Now, in this video, she puts a cut saying they did find the cat. It was like stuck up under the sink or something, but it was there for like a long hours and hours and hours. It was a long time. But we'll get back to that in a minute. Now, she says she's glad to be back. It's helped her kept her mind off of some personal issues that she can't talk about right now. That is, a lot of people do cliffhanger little things like that, but to me, that was like right out of the Amberlynn Reid playbook. Amberlynn can wrap a viewer around her finger, whether they like her or not, with that crap. With, I got a lot going on, I just can't talk about it right now, I'll let you guys know soon, and then, you know, it either never materializes, or it comes up and it's something stupid, like a torn cuticle, you know? But, nevertheless, she changed it to the Daily Chantal, she explains, because Foodie Beauty in her mind now has a negative connotation to it. It's not something that she wants to be stuck to. She wants to reinvest the mukbang money, the money that she was spending on food, and put it back into vlogs, travel vlogs, maybe stuff with Pete's, you know, stuff like that. And she wants to be fully transparent. Okay, now she said something next which I had to stop and rant at Mark about. So, Mark just nodded because I was talking a lot. In an issue of being transparent, she had said, I understand I haven't been transparent with you guys. I haven't been honest. But the reality is that I haven't been honest with myself, so how could I not be honest with you? That's a very carefully crafted little statement there. What that basically says is, it's not my fault that I lied to you, because I didn't know I was lying. Like denial, sort of. That assumes that she's not once withheld the truth or told something that wasn't true deliberately. That there was no manipulation, that there was no calculation in sharing information with a viewer that wasn't false, that she never did it on purpose. That's simply not true. I mean, I think it's simply not true. So to try to put a sugarcoat on dishonesty by saying, well, I didn't mean to do it, I couldn't have helped but lie, because I didn't think I was lying. Nah, I'm sorry, I've been a liar before, You don't do that. You don't, no, that's not how that works. And you don't get off the hook that easily for being dishonest. She does describe the last couple of years as being mentally and physically challenging, and if she's documented it accurately on YouTube, it looks like it has been. During the time away, the 3-ish so weeks she was gone, she said the first couple of weeks she had some physical health problems. Can't tell you what's going on, of course. Now, of course she can. Of course she can tell us. She's not a sequestered juror. You know, she's not in the witness protection program. She could share that information. She's choosing not to, and that's perfectly fine. But let's not make it seem like that there's a gag order on Chantal where she can't talk about what's going on. She wants to bring it up in a later video. She wants to create more content out of a similar theme. That's cool. I mean, that's YouTube. That's all right. But I can't talk about it. Of course you can talk about it. Don't be silly. You want people to speculate. That's, you know, and that's not bad. That's part of the YouTube game. But don't call it anything else. She said keeping busy is a good distraction from food. I guess she's cleaning still for the bugs. And she was having an emotional moment, and she put, you know, menopausal stuff underneath this because she's been emotional lately about traveling with her cats because they were upset with traveling. They were screechy, they were crying, they were whimpering and stuff like that. I hear her. I hear her loud and clear. Bandit, wherever he is my baby. I never had a pet before. I didn't think I would like him. He means more to me than 5 Chantals. Sorry. And I would be very upset if he was upset. Now, granted, she goes on to say she's filming this video while he is lost. At the time of filming, she goes back with a cut earlier in the video, says she found him. At the time of filming, she didn't know where he was. I don't know. I don't think I'd be comfortable filming if I didn't know where Bandit was. I think I'd probably try to find him first, and then I would film. Just because I didn't know. He's the closest thing I would probably have to a child, you know. Not a kid person, and we'll get to that later too. So no, I don't think I'd film if I thought he was lost. All's well that ends well, though. She did find her cat, and he was okay. So, but I hear you on being upset. I could look at Bandit and start to weep because I know he's not going to live forever, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I have my mood swinging days too, for totally different reasons, but I can get to where that is and be upset about an animal. She does want to be more open to criticism now that she is back and not confuse it with trolling. See how that goes. She doesn't know what she was thinking and being so combative with people. She referred to herself as a big fat baby. That mukbangs for a person who's a food addict is no different than watching an alcoholic drink on camera. That comparison has been made not just by me, by bunches of people before me, and it will be made by bunches of people after me. So there's nothing novel in that comparison. She's just saying it out loud herself. She said she's not going to do any pig outs on camera. So, does anybody believe in this? Okay. So the next was a live. And lives, you know my opinion on lives. I have a hard time watching them because they're bleh. I did watch most of this, though. And I almost turned it off when she dropped the camera within, like, the first minute. Now, I've done that, too. I think my first live, you guys flew right off the stand onto the ground. I think I canceled the live, started over, whatever. Karate Joe. Now, people in her loop who follow Chantal, frankly, more closely than I do, or go into her chats. I don't go into her chats and skulk around. But Karate Joe in this chat was the moderator. And I've heard his name come up before as being one of her biggest fans or enablers or likes the mukbangs or something. Now, we have moderators when we do lives. We have 1 or 2 people who volunteer to do it. And basically, the only thing we ask them to do is if someone comes in guns blazing with, like, hate speech, you know, keep an eye on that. Or if 2 people within the chat start fighting and it gets vulgar and nasty, maybe the timeout thing. Stuff like that. But by and large, let people talk about whatever they want to talk about, even if they're not talking to us, because people will use our chat as a way to go see fans, not fans, excuse me, people who watch our channel, viewers and subscribers, will go into our live and talk to each other. They'll listen to what we're saying, but they're going to connect with each other and chat with each other too. Karate Joe wants to steer the conversation. So not only can people not say certain things, there's only certain things they should talk about. at the 13-minute mark. How about no one bringing up Amberlynn Reed in the chat anymore? So that's a bit over the top, I think. I wouldn't approve of a moderator that we use, and we have great moderators, so I don't even think it would occur to them, that they should steer the direction of what people are talking about. That's, I don't know. I think it's unnecessary. I think it's coercive. I think it's stupid, but not my monkeys, not my circus. I'm just watching, okay? So the next video was Let's Talk Post-Hysterectomy Grief. So again, the cat's back after 10 hours. Thank you, Chantal, for dressing up for this. There's a very mistress of the night kind of thing she has going on, with a brighter lipstick, kind of red, and the dark hair, and this like shimmy black stuff on. Thank you for dressing up for this video. I like it. I like it. Chantal does a good face of makeup. You know, I gotta say that. And it's hard to find nice clothes when you're a big person. I've been a big person. It's hard to find something that not only fits, but that you like. And I thought you looked good in this video. And she's starting to label videos again, My 400-Pound Life. And the topic of this video is grief attached to loss, but not just people. So she catches everybody up on her hysterectomy journey, what led up to it, what was taken out, which was pretty much everything according to her. She said she never really wanted the surgery. She wanted to heal naturally. I remember several attempts at her trying to heal herself naturally. There was a water fast, smoothies, plant-based, all sorts of other stuff she had tried. And eventually she wasn't able to stick to any of those with enough follow-through to even see if they were going to help, pretty much. So surgery is what happened. BB wants a lot of kids. BB, her partner, wants a lot of kids. She's at the point now where she can't have any short of adoption, you know. So I don't know. I hear her though on never wanting kids, because I've never wanted kids of my own. Not that I dislike children, but I've never wanted to have one. She alludes to the fact that given her mental health, she doesn't think she'd be in a good spot to raise a child. Frankly, I don't know a judge that would give a child to someone with my mental health record, my criminal record, my credit score. So even if I wanted to have one, I couldn't. But I'm there with her. It's not high on the life goals bucket list. She talks about her mental health having been declining and starting to get weepy watching movies with families, talking about looking into grief counseling for people who have menopause, experiences that are lost now that she can't have children. Even though she didn't want them, she said the choice was taken away from her. I'm not going to pretend to understand her situation here. I've been a fat person, I've been a snob, I've been inconsistent. I can meet her on all those places. I've never been in this position, so I don't want to guess too much. The one thing she said, though, is that she feels like she did something wrong. Chantal, if you're listening, you're probably not. Maybe you're a narcissist and you watch videos about yourself. You didn't do anything wrong. You had surgery. I'm sure you didn't get in a line when you were 18 and says, my life's goal is to have a hysterectomy full by the time I'm 35, because I have cysts. One could maybe argue that you made unhealthy lifestyle choices over a long period of time and that you're prone to disease, period. Someone could make that argument. My position, though, is that you didn't do anything to bring this on. That your grief you're feeling is real. But guilt, I wouldn't pile guilt on top of myself. I don't think you should pile guilt on top of yourself. That's just my 2 cents. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a psychiatrist. But if I was your friend and you asked me if I thought you should feel guilty, I would say hell no. So that's my 2 cents on that. She talks about overcoming her food addiction, how she's been a slave to food and needs to find other fulfilling things to do. In the background, Mark goes, glad to hear it, won't stick. Mark is usually very succinct in his weighing in. And then with no segue says she wants to talk in videos about her employment history. Okay. So, 4th video, My 400-Pound Life, Adventures in Grocery Shopping with Pete's. They went to Farm Boy, which seems like a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's type place, and she buys an ass ton of fruit, which seemed conspicuous at the time and will come up again soon. She buys a case of mangoes. Like, she didn't have to, but she did. She could have bought a few. 2, 3 to 5 pound bags of carrots, 12 limes. So, I think it was limes. So many that Pete was like, shit, you might as well start eating them whole. Bunches of bananas, pumpkin seeds, 4 or 5 bags of frozen fruit, Happy Planet juices, coconut, all this plant fruit stuff. And it was like $100 and change to buy it all. A lot of fruit. So the next video, which is the most recent, unless she puts something up while I'm filming, and help me God, there'll be a cut and I'll have to add another one. I hope she doesn't. Fruitarian diet for health and weight loss. Now here is where hope starts to fade for me. You guys know I like an underdog, and I'm not her cheerleader exactly, but whenever someone's trying to start a health journey of any kind, you know, it's good to have people on your side, even if they don't deserve it and you're pretty sure they'll fail. I was like, okay, she's going to try to turn over a new leaf. As soon as I saw fruitarian diet, I'm like, well, that's over. That's over. She's not going to stick to a fruitarian diet, but let's see what she had to say about it. She said, specifically, these discussions she's going to have about eating fruit pertain to her, her body, her lifestyle, and that everyone's different. So now that we've laid the groundwork that Chantal is unique, she's picked these things as a result of the way her body feels after she eats them. She does talk a little bit about digestive issues. She says that she's actually grateful for the cycle that many folks have identified of binging, feeling ill, moments of clarity, eating well, withdrawal, trying moderation, binging, and then it goes like this. She says she's grateful because it's taught her what she can tolerate, and she's learned a lot about herself. That is a positive spin on it. I guess I could add a stretch, say with my own addiction to substances, the cycles were, I'm not grateful for that. I did a lot of damage to my body and a lot of other people in the meantime. There's a lot of people who have a lot of wisdom and insight who didn't have to almost ruin their lives and their bodies to get it. So no, I wouldn't say I'm grateful for my cycles, but if she wants to take that position and it helps her, I suppose that's okay. She's talking about foods that are safe for her to eat, and she says, you know, even roast chicken and vegetables, I could eat that eight plates of it. So that still doesn't feel like to her it's a safe food. So as an addict, she said she needs to avoid triggers. Now, Chantal has a hair trigger for triggers. Everything triggers her. Everything. Emotions trigger her. Sweets trigger her. Cheese triggers her. Being too hungry triggers her. Eating 6 meals a day triggers her. Doing restrictive diets triggers her. So deciding to eat pretty much only fruit and some vegetables, I think that counts as a restrictive diet, which, goes without saying, goes completely against the prescribed plan from her doctor, and what Chantal identified as an issue, which was restrictive diets don't work for me. That will probably come up within the next week. I hate to say when, but when the fruitarian diet doesn't follow through. So that's and she'll say I didn't think it through, I didn't realize, and da-da-da-da-da, and that's how I think that's going to go forward. Maybe by the end of the weekend. She says the right things. That I have to fix myself, that it's about personal responsibility, that I need therapy, that I'm afraid of hard work and I'm not disciplined. So she paints herself as a little bit of a sympathetic character, but saying the right things and then following through with them are like two different things. I never thought Chantal, I said this a couple videos ago, lacked for planning. She could make great plans for other people. She could write diet plans for people. It's the effort. She lacks with effort. She doesn't lack with with planning. Well, maybe the fruitarian diet, you could question the good planning, but she says certain fruits and vegetables are safe for her to eat. She thinks, though she wasn't diagnosed, she might have irritable bowel syndrome because certain foods go straight through her, which is why she says keto doesn't work because meats and high-fat foods go through her. She also doesn't have a gallbladder. She's dipping into areas I know very little about when she's talking about gallbladders and fats and stuff like that. It's probably easy to Google, but I don't want to Google something and pretend I'm an expert. I don't know much about it. She talks about food addiction, how food can hit the same pleasure centers in your brain as some other substances. So you do need a detox, though it won't kill you, and it's mental and physical. You know, it's tough in both ways. I was kind of glib about food addiction and there being a detox to it, either last video or the one before. I did talk to some people. I had talked with Mark, and there are some... I wasn't thinking in terms of things like sugar and caffeine and processed things that you get hooked on. In my head, it was the drama of it. I'm thinking, well, when I had a substance use issue, withdrawal for me involved things like seizures, hallucinations, cold sweats, not sleeping for 3 days. And in my mind, I had a rather shallow view of food addiction withdrawal as staying up all night thinking about Arby's. So I had a very glib look at it. But having been a big person, I know it's really hard to make healthy choices after a very long time of not making them, and how food that's healthy doesn't feel like it's enough, and how am I ever going to be happy again and fulfilled. So I can appreciate at least the mental part of it. So I should stop being a dick and meet you halfway. Pretty much. So I'm trying to do that. She said the only foods that feel good for her are hydrating, which would be vegetables and fruit, primarily fruit. She then burps right in the middle of this, doesn't acknowledge it, and keeps it moving. So Foodie Beauty's in there. The Daily Chantal might be a little more polished, but Foodie Beauty is still under the surface. She wants to check in daily for accountability, plus some other videos. Now, no restrictive diets, no restrictive diets. That's why this isn't going to work. The medical advice, the evidence-based medical advice isn't being followed, so it's not going to... It follows that you won't... never mind. And she's doing this for health reasons, not necessarily for weight loss, just to make sure she's getting all her micronutrients. And she goes on about the virtues of chia seeds and other stuff to make sure you're getting all your needs met nutritionally, plus a multivitamin. And then, the macros will just come under all of that. So, she's certainly back. Fruitarian. I'm not optimistic. There's been other attempts where she's said, I'm going to try this, I'm going to do this, and we're going to see where it goes, and I'm optimistic, and yap, yap, yap. She appears, I think, to have a little more insight. Caveat, appears. She can just repeat back observations that people have made to her, that she lacks discipline, that she lacks this. And it can appear that she has insight that she doesn't really have. Because if she understood herself as well as she says she does, I don't think she would decide to go fruitarian or anything similar. So that's my general concern. I'm not optimistic that this is going to last very long, but I'm not sure what direction it's going to go next. I didn't see fruitarian coming until the video before where she was buying an ass ton of produce at Farm Boy. So your guess is as good as mine at this point. I'm not playing Genie in the Bottle for this video because I don't know what to expect next. So thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the like button. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and contact information is all listed below. Thank you for watching, and Mark and I will catch up with you tomorrow for some Sunday chit-chat. Thank you for watching. Bye.